Today we're visiting Shirley, and she's 2 years into this garden, and when she moved here, it was a blank canvas. Shirley, thank you ever so much for welcoming us to your garden.
You're so welcome.
I suppose my first question is, when did you move here, and what was the space like before?
So we have been here just over 2 years. This is like our third summer. We moved in the springtime. And when we moved, this garden, we feel had been kind of stripped back a lot, so that there wasn't very much in it in terms of shrubs and things, and it felt like there'd been lots of weed killer thrown about and things like that. So it didn't feel alive. We weren't seeing many birds, we weren't seeing a lot of insects and so on. So we really, the first year, just left the garden to do its thing as far as possible to see what was actually here. And then as we got to the autumn time that year, we started to add more structure in. So for example, the beds along the wall to this side were very shallow. They were about maybe a foot wide. With only a few plants in, and so we just started widening them and things like that.
This area that we're standing in right now is fabulous structure of raised beds. How did this come to be?
So these sleepers were all here when we moved in, but they were structured as two tall beds that were 3 sleepers high. So we've got six rectangles here. They were 2 tall cubes, if you cuboids, if you think of it like that, and they were over at the back of the garden there. We quickly realised that they were probably there because they were hiding some bricks and things. So the bottom half, so actually they
storage for rubble.
At least a half of the height was rubble and logs and things like that. So there was a big clearing job to do to get them filled anyway. And then we found that that location wasn't the best for growing because these beautiful trees give a lot of shade. We moved. So the first, the second spring we were in, we moved one of the cuboids, kind of made 3 beds up here. So these 3 were here
the first ones.
2 years ago.
What are you growing?
Well, lots of things. So I like to have some flowers and some edibles in most of my beds. So we've got rhubarb over here, and there's some parsley hidden in there as well, but my lupins up this end, actually they are just over, but the lupin patch was filling this entire end of the bed until recently. They've gone a bit leggy and over now, but these lupins, I grew from seed actually, but this is year 3 of them, so they've really
so you can see the majority that they've got now. Yeah,
and we've got chives at the end here, which obviously have nice pom-pom flowers on earlier in the season. We've got beetroot and salads in here. There's some sunflowers at the end, chives again.
Yeah, lots of beetroots in well.
This flower, I've never grown this before, but it's called linaria. And it was just a literal sprinkle of seeds down the middle. Didn't know what was going to happen, but they've been lovely.
So do you grow mostly from seed in this area?
I grow almost everything from seed. The bed behind you has got sunflowers and poppies, but there's also a row of kale down this side and a row of carrots.
So we've got, you've spoken already about having these borders, how you've kind of brought more depth to them, so that you can really develop the planting in there, the herbaceous borders. We've got these fantastic raised beds here. This is a very beautiful corner.
Thanks.
And
well, it has been. It's probably in between seasons at the minute. So in the springtime, we have a full row of forget-me-nots. You can just see the end of them there. So it's a beautiful froth of blue along the front. And then these geraniums were in the garden when we moved, but they weren't here. They were on over that side. And so I've split them and moved them, but they give nice purple flowers there. So it's just kind of an early pollinator.
And that early colour.
And then now that's all finished. The clematis in the middle, sort of just going over. This is a later clematis that has a deep red flower, but that won't come till probably August, September time.
And I'm seeing here we've got these 3 hostas, and I'm seeing it repeated over there as well.
Yeah.
So I think it would be nice to go over there and have a look at that border.
Yeah, sure. Come on over. Yeah, so this border again was very shallow. The crocosmia, I don't know if you call it Montbretian, at the back was in. There's a lot more in that corner as well. And this laurel was there. And this hypericum, is it called? With the berries was here. But it's a good example of, it was right up against the wall. It was very weedy, didn't look happy. I moved it out by a metre. And it's flourishing now.
Yeah, thriving. So it's got some space around it to breathe.
Yeah, so it was too near to the wall, and it was too near to that laurel as well.
Coming on beautifully. There's one other thing that I'd really like to pick your brain on over here.
Okay.
So if we just take a little walk, and then I love this bit.
Yeah.
It might seem like a small detail. I think this is quite possibly my favourite part here, just this little strip here of sedum.
Yeah.
And what made you want to plant the sedum here? I think it's fantastic. I think it's a really good use of space.
So what you basically got there is about a 3-inch strip where these paving stones end before the wall. And so it was obviously just full of dandelions, and there was a really amazing thistle here the first year that we moved in, that we let grow, and it was amazing. But we basically just were thinking that we needed something a little bit more controllable in there. And I had these sedum plants in a kind of stepped planter. And they'd done really, really well, but I wanted the planter for something else. But yeah, I love it too.
Yeah, I just think it's such a beautiful little detail, and I love it against the wall as well. Actually, it has like it's such a little punch of colour, and I kind of I think with sedums, like the texture of the leaves are fantastic.
Oh, I know.
And then when the flowers come up, they're kind of like surprising as well. The flowers that come
you never
out
really
of the sedum.
expect a flower, but when you get it, it's like a bonus, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that is such a beautiful little detail.
Thank you. Perhaps makes the most of a horrible crop.
Thank you. When moving to a new garden, there's always that rush and excitement of wanting to get your hands into the soil and to start creating. But what Shirley's doing so wonderfully well is learning from the garden, taking her time and practicing patience.